Welcome to week 5 of our summer message series, Sanctify. We're taking the sometimes unattainable idea of holiness and we're breaking it down to show how regular people can become holy in their regular lives. Now, believe it or not, I actually enjoy the occasional scary movie. I don't watch them all the time, but I do indulge in a nice thrill once in a while. Father Ray, incidentally, really loves scary movies. They're about the only movies he will watch. Go figure. But I also know a few people who absolutely hate scary movies and would never ever watch them. I mean, it makes sense, right? Why would some people pop their popcorn and cozy up on the couch to intentionally be scared out of their minds for like an hour and a half to 2 hours? Why would you do that? It may not exactly be your cup of tea, but I do know some people who genuinely enjoy it. They just love the jump scares and the tense music and the betrayals and the dumb decisions made by the characters that end up getting them killed. One particular not so smart decision that always seems to happen in horror movies is that in order to find the villain more quickly, someone comes up with the brilliant suggestion, hey, let's split up and cover more ground. Spoiler alert, that never works. And we're able to laugh at it in a horror movie because it's so obvious that striking out on your own is such a dangerous situation and it couldn't possibly end well. But how often do we make that same decision when it comes to our own faith life? How often do we go it alone? Try to muscle our way through it and figure it all out on our own. Now, Father Jerry, you might say, I don't know if our faith life really counts as a dangerous situation like you're making it out to be. True. There might not be a physical aspect of danger, but you can bet that your soul is on the line. Check this out. Be sober and vigilant. Your opponent, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Yikes. That sounds dire to me. Sounds a little scary. There is a force at work, brothers and sisters, trying to take us away from our ultimate goal, trying to stop us from becoming holy. And while the devil is no match for God, he's not God's opposite, he's not God's equal, but he has a heck of a lot more experience and practice than you and I when it comes to spiritual warfare. He knows the game, and he's playing for keeps. So you and I should consider the situation dire indeed, because it will affect our decision making when it comes to our spiritual lives. That's why divide and conquer doesn't really work. In the end, the decision we thought would help us get further usually winds up disappointing us at best or actually harming our spiritual lives at worst. The Lord calls us to build the kingdom and to be holy, not just as individuals, but get this, as a community. In the Bible, we read this, as a body is one, though it has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though many, are one body, so also Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body. There it is. It's not just God and me, the popular belief that our spiritual lives are only about our own personal relationship with God. It's true, there's an aspect to that, but there's more. You see, since our baptism, God has called us to move forward in our faith, not by powering through it alone, but by moving as a unit with the church and as a community. The truth is, we build our holiness with God, but the rubber meets the road when we put that holiness into action. Holiness is truly lived out in community when we do it together. We see a perfect example of this in today's gospel reading. We read this, Jesus called the 12 and began to send them out 2 by 2. Jesus only sent the apostles out to preach in pairs. He could have sent them out by themselves. They probably would have been a bit more productive. They would have covered more ground that way. But no. He has a bigger vision in mind. He called them, then he connected them, and then he sent them out to fulfill his mission. And it wasn't because there's safety in numbers. It was because that's the way holiness and our mission of evangelization is supposed to work. Jesus knew the apostles would only be successful when they were in communion with Christ and in communion with each other. They needed an accountability system for when they might be tempted to choose the wrong path. They would need encouragement and strength when the times got tough. Jesus knew it was true for his apostles, and it is also true for us today. We can't become holy without the support of a community of like-minded people. The minute we start to believe our call to holiness and mission is just about me and Jesus, we've missed the boat. That's why Jesus sent them out, instead of letting them just sit around and do nothing, or in today's day, watch Netflix. We are called to grow our community by inviting many other people to come and see what God has in store for them here. Now we have this amazing parish community. Everyone here is more or less at least open to living a life of faith as a Catholic Christian. And together, we actually form a body. But that amazing resource that God has given to you, I think more often than not, goes largely untapped. When you go through a difficult time and you feel like you've got nowhere to turn, why not turn here? Look around you. I mean, really, look around you. You're still looking at me. You see everybody here? They're your family, like it or not. God has ordained the people around you to be your family of faith. Check this out. God destined us for adoption to sonship as his own through Jesus Christ, according to the good pleasure of his will. If God is your Father, because you've been baptized, that means that every other person who has been baptized is your brother and sister. In short, we're all in this together. Whether you like that person or not, they are your brother and sister. So if you are struggling, why not ask that person at church who you always sit next to, but barely have ever said 10 words to, other than, peace be with you, why not invite that person out for a coffee? Why not start to get to know your support system and the people around you, so that we can become a truly strong community of faith and a community that looks out for one another? The only thing holding you back from doing that is you. Today, I want to challenge you to answer a question for yourself. Who in your life is helping you on your journey of faith? Just think about that. Who in your life is helping you on your journey of faith? Who is helping you today to become holier? Is it your parents? Is it your spouse? Is it a friend? Is it nobody? If you can identify a person or many people, you're in a real good place. And some of you are nodding yes. You're in a good place. If the answer is nobody, if you feel truly alone on this faith journey, then look around and think again. Step outside your comfort zone and go introduce yourself to somebody and begin the process of companionship. We have to put in the effort, my friends. If we expect someone else to come to us first just because we think they should, and we're too uncomfortable to make the first move ourselves, well, guess what? Nothing will ever happen. We are meant to cooperate with God and to reach out in faith. Our faith and holiness grows exponentially when we share it with others. We have heard this said time and time again, that God is love and that he is calling us. If he is calling each one of us to be like him and to be holy, then we need to love like God loves. Before we reach heaven and are united with love himself, he wants us to be familiar with love. And that's why he created us to live in community. Because the root of holiness is love. And love is always outward focused. Love is never selfish. Love is never all about what I get out of something. If you think that's what love is, then we've got a real twisted view of love. Love is outward focused. Love is about the other. You want an example of that? Look right there. That is an example of love for others, not for himself. Right? No person is an island. You can try to be one, but you're not going to get very far. You're not going to be very happy. Right? So let's love one another. Let us support one another, and let us walk with one another. We are a family. We are a community of faith. We're meant to do this together. And when one is weak, others are strong, and the strong people help the weak people. And together, we make it through. Because we're in this together. May God bless you all.